Hello everyone, happy full moon in Aries, October 1st, and let's get it rolling, okay? So let's see. The high peak is at 2:05 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 4:05 p.m. 9 degrees, 8 minutes, all right? So for anyone that does meditation, you can make your meditations for as long as you want, but I like to go by numbers, right? So if it's 8 minutes, you can do a 8-minute practice of meditation, or even 10 or 11, hold the energy, and that's the high peak. So a lot of you guys will be hearing this after the full moon, okay? But the message is still here for you. And we feel that energy 3 days after the full moon, and even 3 days before, we feel that buildup, right? So happy birthday to the sun signs out there. It's Libra's birthday season right now. So happy birthday to all the Libras. And Libra happens to be in the 9th house of Sagittarius. So that's wonderful. You guys might be experiencing the energy of needing to going out and celebrate your birthdays. If it's on October 1st, you want to make sure that, and this is just for the Libras, right? Because I'll do the horoscope after for everyone, but I'm doing a general reading first. But I jot this down in my notes when I was reviewing the charts. Libras, and this is for everyone else too, can strongly feel this, but with the Sun square in Jupiter, you want to make sure you don't overdo things, okay? Don't overindulge too much in things that you like, food, drinks, or anything else. Just watch out for putting yourself in debt, and don't agree to something just because you're having a great time, where you're spending a lot of money. You might feel easily distracted by others or even your own thoughts, especially if your chart has a sign, another air sign is strong in your chart that will, like a Gemini, that, could be creative, but you have to stay focused, right? So flip that energy of the Sun square in Jupiter by, reminding yourself of yourself at this time, because the Sun is the self, like that Aries energy. Since we're in Aries full moon, the Aries energy is I am. So you want to remind yourself of yourself and bless yourself with luck and prosperity, that Jupiter energy. But just focus on, hey, what's my ultimate goal? And just ground yourself that way. Just remain focused on your primary goal or whatever it is, right? So just don't make plans that you'll spend big money, right? Just be mindful. All right, so and everyone might feel that strong energy as well. All right, a little bit. You might want to get things, but don't have a negative relationship with money, but just be mindful that you don't want to overdo anything, right? So let's keep it moving. So full moon in Aries, and Aries is in the 3rd house of Gemini. So you guys, there's good and bad with communication at this full moon. You'll notice a lot of things that people are doing might, get you upset. It could be intentional, but don't allow it to get you upset. Try to just stay far away from any kind of drama. Chiron is in retrograde. Mars is in retrograde in Aries, and Mars is in its home zodiac sign. So this is very powerful, and you have the dark moon Lilith there as well. So really thinking about how you're going to get things done, right? And have that be hidden. So there's good and bad there. There's some hidden intentions there that is self-serving. And it all depends on if it's actually good or bad, right? So in the 3rd house, you want to be careful with the how you talk and how you speak, how you communicate. Maybe your communication will be too forceful on the 1st of October. Maybe you'll realize someone's communication is more frustrating, and it might not have anything to do with you. It could be other situations. So just try to say things nicely if you can. And if you can't, just don't say anything at all. But if you do, try to make it as kind as you can. Chiron with the full moon, it's going to reveal what you don't, or it's going to reveal what was done or what happened during the growing moon days, which was the waxing moon days building up to the full moon. So things will be revealed. It will have hidden motives, hidden intentions. It would be more of like a controlling type of manipulative, I can't even say it right now, behaviors, right? And because Mars is in retrograde, it's things aren't what you perceive them to be if you're going to be upset at someone, even if that person is bringing that kind of weird energy to you. Things is not what they seem. A lot of times, it could be hidden reasons, but still, we are responsible for our behaviors, right? So not everything is what it seems. So really hear one thing and really think about it. And even if you hear something good, it's not to be negative or worrisome, but just be mindful and flip it so that you're enjoying yourself or you're benefiting from it in some way, by just enjoying that day if you can, or making that day as peaceful as you can, or a day of healing, or a day of just being by yourself, or relaxing, or being in a healing environment, right? So just be mindful of someone's ideas might be to use something to get what they want, right? And it's to meet their end goal of something good, right? And there's a lot of distraction in this full moon, right? So I'll get to the positive, but there's a lot of distraction happening at this full moon and days after. Again, avoiding arguments, but speak up when you need to in the best way. And of course, it's best to just ignore certain things because in a day or two it will be completed, right? And Mars being retrograde again in Aries is going to happen again on November 13th, and the moon will be in Scorpio that day, a waning moon in Scorpio, just a regular waning moon day. But this will also be in the 6th house of Virgo. So the next time that Mars retrograde will be in Aries is going to be on November 13th. It will be a waning moon in Scorpio, and it will be in the 6th house of Virgo. So a lot of issues coming up again with communication, because Virgo is ruled by Scorpio, but more in relationships and love relationships. So it's interesting to see what will happen a little bit over a month from now. If you're be mindful of just avoiding any kind of arguments with a Virgo, a Scorpio, Aries, anyone really. A love life and professional life can have some kind of crazy reaction on November 13th. So be mindful of that. Now, on this October 1st full moon, Chiron wants you to heal what you need, right? So think about what needs to be healed, right? And then if you can actually work on it now, it's like these openings happen, right? And it's like, don't miss the moment. And it's more of like an astrological alignment moment. So if you miss that moment, you miss that opportunity to fix what needs to be fixed, right? So say if you're not working on your anger, your laziness, your ability to create drama, make your life worse, then you move on to another situation, and then you're creating that same behavior, that same experience again. But then you might not realize it, or you might realize it but not willing to work on yourself. and then you're blaming others or you're deflecting, whatever. Right? You might know someone like that. So Chiron is like, what needs to be healed, right? The need to ask for help or be helped, right? It's like you need it either for you or someone that you know. And Mars retrograde and Mars in Aries is going to deliver karma also. So I wrote all of this down, and it's like, this is going to bring karma, but sometimes what you think is karma, is a trick. All right. So the dark moon has that energy as well. But there's a purpose, right? And it's in the way it's being communicated and delivered, right? And a lot of times people aren't going to say what they should be saying, right? And it's what they meant to say. But the karma is still being worked, right? So just be mindful of that. It's a strong moon for negativity to come back to a person, right? And Chiron in the third house of Gemini shows your deepest wounds in your communication. And your communication could be what you really feel, or it could be a misunderstanding. It could bring up old wounds from your childhood, your feelings, and just recognizing unspoken words and behaviors in others. So we're going to notice what people are not saying and what they really mean, right? And some things are just blatant. So most important thing is that your reaction, your behavior, right? So in certain situations, you have to be calm. You have to seek healing, right? It's certain issues are going to be very much low self-esteem and doubtful feelings. And what you want to do is think of your overall healing. It's bringing it back to you, that whole Chiron energy, right? And using the waning moon days after the full moon, so that's October 2nd on to the new moon, at least 10 minutes a day devoted to some kind of healing meditation and practice. And a lot of people are going to miss this moment to cleanse, to purge, right? Whether you're doing some kind of therapy, Qigong, yoga, etc., whatever, EFT tapping, whatever. Maybe a morning drink that goes along with your physical cleansing your body, or not necessarily like a cleanse, because you're not going to do that every day. That's too much. But like a healthy, lemon and water, warm or room temperature, but something that's just like naturally cleansing. So doing physical healthy things and mentally healthy things, right? And just a reminder that, our health is important. And thinking about the seasons changing, and I made another video on that in another channel about autumn. We might want more sweets, but we also want to limit that as well. So that's like a whole deeper conversation. But the main important thing to get is to really think about what we're physically putting in our bodies, and what we're emotionally putting into our minds, right? And what we're choosing not to focus on, what we're choosing not to heal, right? And some of us are really deflecting, and some of us will actually try to do a little bit of good for ourselves, and others will completely ignore it. And that's missing the mark, because when November 13 comes around, it's like another opportunity, another buildup will happen from the days leading up from this full moon to that November 13th. So Chiron is reminding you that you're a healer, right? But what can't you heal, right? Think about the mythology of it, right? What can't you heal within yourself, right? And this energy is going to be with us, with this Chiron energy, from July 11th to December 15th, being retrograde in Aries. So think of I am energy, the Aries energy, I am. Think of even your root chakra, right? Your grounding energies. So this moon is really asking us to be powerful within ourselves, and that calming energy that we need is going to come from within us, and really thinking and putting ourselves first. And it's a real powerful moon for Aries too, because it's about dealing with our hurt feelings. And a lot of Aries, a month ago before this full moon, was starting the buildup of dealing with betrayal, you know. And some Aries that I do know, this was happening even the end of August, right? So it's like this is a buildup of dealing with relationships going south and anything that you need to heal, right? So let me start off. Let me see. I'm going to start just doing astrology reading for everyone right now. So give me a second. I'm looking at the chart. Okay, let's start with Aries because of the full moon, and I'll just go to Taurus and then around that way. So at the bottom of the chart on the screen, you can see Aries, and you can see Chiron retrograde, the moon, Mars retrograde, and Lilith. So you have all this energy of fighting back, of the need to heal our emotions, and the black moon. So think of all that energy of and really making a calculating decision. So use the waning moon Aries to cleanse, and then when the waxing moon comes up, and get prepared. Look at I'm going to bring up my chart right now, my calendar. I should have brought this up already. But look at, and this is really much for everyone, look at the next moon coming up to see what would you want to work on. That's why I want to do the other video earlier. That way you guys can see what you could potentially want to work on, you know, rather than just doing these videos. It's like, what are we saying right here? What's going on here? And how can we use the new moon? The new moon is happening October 16th, Friday, right? I have to click into this because I think it's in Libra. So it's a new moon in Libra, 23 degrees, 52 minutes. That's like doing an hour practice of something, right? Happening at 12:30 Pacific Standard Time. Okay, so working out with balancing things. Think about what Libra means, and it's all about balance and fairness. So with everything going on in the world, in your life, looking at the chart, it's really about things taking flight and different angles of looking at things, but having a very strong and powerful need to be organized. That new moon is having a very strong Jupiter, Saturn, and like Pluto energy, right? So think about what you want to work on by then. Okay, so Aries, third house energy, Gemini. All right, so moving now, let's move on now to Taurus. Okay, Taurus has Uranus, and it's a very, you can use that in a very, it could be a very stubborn energy that will make you lose, you know. So be mindful of how you're using your Uranus energy, okay? And it being in the fourth house, it's all about you needing to nurture yourself. Issues of your parents and home, and your inner security will come up, needing a rooting down. Fourth house issues, okay? So that's your home, okay? And really look at the positive and negative of Uranus in retrograde, and how have you been using it, and has it been beneficial? You know, really look at that, and your willingness to heal what needs to be healed, your willingness to listen, and really focus on healing, tapping into receiving healing and actually implementing it. So that will be very powerful, and you need that. And a lot of you tap into knowing how to heal so that it benefits you in the best way, okay? And clear out hurt, lost, confused feeling, and even feelings that you feel that is undeserving to you, and really look at your own actions and then heal from there, okay? Very beautiful. Now, Gemini North Node, where do you want to go, okay? And being in the 5th house, where do you want to go? Tap into the fire energy of Leo. Look at the positive aspects of Leo, and maybe you're feeling more powerful, like, you know, more protective of your energy and yourself, and that's good. Okay, Cancer, this is a lucky full moon for you. Some of you, if you've been through hardship, experiencing a lot of 6th house energy and 7th house energy. 6th house is your work. That could be going good for you for your daily life. Things will looking up, relationship will look up. But if relationships are bad, Cancer, you have that, you know, get up and move on energy where you're not going to let it get you down. Okay, Leo, and the Fortuna is very fortune, luck, and you know, things working really well, and hold on to that energy into the waxing moon days, into the balancing Libra new moon coming up. Leo, a lot of 7th house relationship. Some of you will be letting go of a partner. Some of you will be getting more deeply connected with your partner, but just being more aware of others. 7th house issues, Leo. Okay, and tapping into that, I want to say that Venus energy, okay? I need Venus energy, and filling yourself with a lot of love, a lot of compassion, and so on, okay? Just fill yourself with love, compassion, and being aware of why you're using that essence. Really tap into it. Look into the Venus energy if you're unfamiliar with it, but really heal yourself with self-love, because it's a real healing moon. So everything that we're looking at, all the planets, how do they reflect, how do they deal with healing? Okay, so then how does Venus heal? And you think about it by, you know, pampering yourself, taking care of yourself. And it doesn't have to be super expensive. It could just be, you know, some bath that you'll do for yourself, but really, a cleansing bath, and a self-love cleansing bath, something of that nature, right? That essence. Scorpio in the 8th house. Scorpio being in the 8th house, or am I saying Scorpio? Virgo in the 8th house of Scorpio. You know, it's could be really interesting, you know, tapping into the black moon energy. So someone that kind of might have done something slightly dissing you or horrible to you, they might be dealing with their own karma, right? But then they need healing themselves, right? You have no planets there, but you can definitely tap into that Mars, even that Lilith energy as well, okay? And you'll be seeing karma for people that mess with you, especially when you're in Scorpio's 8th house, because Scorpio will strike back. And then Virgo, see where you have a Scorpio in your chart. And even when you're watching this video today, you can think back on what happened 3 days before the full moon, what happened on the full moon, what happened on the 2nd, stuff like that. And don't feel responsible, especially if you're not putting out negative energy. Just realize that you're seeing the karma of things, and just send out healing for yourself. Send healing to yourself, and send healing to that situation, right? Even if it's silently. The 9th house has Libra, and the sun in Libra. So happy birthday to all Libras. And you are thinking about traveling, making plans for traveling, thinking about money, thinking about balancing things out. Maybe you're helping others balance out their emotions when it comes to religion, travel, law, the way that they think of things, the philosophy of it, the spiritual looking into things. Anything, Libra, you can reach that level to communicate with that person, okay? And to help bring balance and understanding to that. So happy birthday to all the Libras, okay? Now, Scorpio, okay, feeling, receiving a lot of attention on the full moon, and you'll feel like you need this attention to validate yourself and to also feel good about yourself, and you'll want to talk a lot and communicate, and that's because Mercury is in your sign in the 10th house and receiving a lot of attention, and that's wonderful because we all need the spotlight sometimes. So really bathe in that and feel good about yourself, and remember that, and just feel good about yourself and just heal what needs to be healed, okay? Sagittarius will be dealing with a lot of friendship issues, okay? What you want to aspire to do, what you want to do. But remember your karmic lessons, your past life lessons, your past relationships. And these things will come up again. You know, I was watching a video that says sometimes you can do a practice that you release something in 7 days, it comes back again. Then you need to, release it again, or maybe a month later, or 6 months, or 7 months later. But you are more healed. But sometimes that memory and thought will come up, and you have to do the work, right? So this moon, it can be a cleansing one, okay, and a lot of protection energy. And even 3 days after the full moon, you can do that. Just something just to remind yourself of protecting your energy, okay. Capricorn, having Saturn, Jupiter in their energy right now, and Pluto, and also in the ascending. It's like a lot for you guys, right, leading up to it. So try to ground yourself, try to not allow chaos to make you feel even more crazy. Make sure that you're taking the time to really heal and let go of ego, and that's gonna, a lot of you, some might not want to hear that, especially when it's the actual thing, but be willing to listen. And that could be a lot of the earth sign. Be willing to listen, and then take the positive out of it, and then be creative with it. And a lot of you earth sign can tap into another part of your chart that will bring the healing or the actual results that you want, that you can feel like you can celebrate yourself. But know that everything that has to do with things getting better, or things being better organized, or certain things ending that needs to end, it will happen in the right timing. So just a reminder that you're feeling maybe a strong energy of this needs to be controlled, this needs to be better, but everything is happening in its timing. So just remind yourself that, and let it heal by just letting it go. Aquarius has no planets, but a lot of the first and second house feelings will be coming in. What do you value? Ask yourself that. What do you value, and how does it appear to you in your life? And really think about that, because sometimes you'll be listening to these videos and you'll hear it, and then you're like, okay, but then pause the video, because that's what I do when I'm watching something that is healing for me. I pause and I think, right? What do you value? Why do you value it? And how does it appear in your life? How does it show up in your life? Is it chaotic? Does it bring you comfort? Does it bring you peace? Then you need to really change your relationship and reprogram your mind on how you receive that, how you call it into you. How do you live with it, eat with it, dance with it, shower with it? I don't know. What is that thing? How does it vibe in your space? And then see how you can make that a better relationship, or cancel it out, or look at it a different way, or use it a different way, or think of it a different way. Pisces. Okay, so Pisces with Neptune, your home planet, in retrograde, really looking at things deeply and spiritually, really looking at yourself, looking at your situation, the power of dreams. I feel like some of you guys aren't dreaming or not as in touch as you want to be, and maybe you're trying to force something to happen, and you have to allow it to happen naturally instead of trying to force it to happen. So and being able to sit back and really see things can be frustrating, and wondering why people can't see the joking in it, the comic of it, the silliness of it, the repeated craziness of something. People might not see the pattern of things, or they're allowing their mind to be so chaotic and upset, and you want to help, but then at the same time you're not going to care too much. Some of you don't want to care too much and have the ability to just said, I did the best I can, or if you're too stupid to see it, or if you are too lost to see it, that's on you. So some of you will take that approach, and others will really care and take it to heart too much. So try to find that balance of knowing that you've done the best you could emotionally. And I feel like a lot of water signs are just coming to that realization, like, hey, I've done the best I could, I just gotta let it go, and that's healing in itself. And being in the second house, you're really thinking about how will what I say, what I do, how I feel affect my resources, right? And what do I have, right? And is it worth me explaining to someone, something? Or even if you messed up, it's like, okay, well, it's not worth your energy. Something is just not worth your energy and time. And you're just coming to that realization that if others are dreaming or fooling themselves, they're going to have to figure it out on their own, right? It's kind of like everything that you've done, and if you're just getting judged for this one thing, then it's like, come on, just realizing that you've really done the best that you can, and by you just moving forward and letting things be can be the best thing that you can do. You can't solve everything, and that's a beautiful realization to come to. So to wrap this all up, of course, this moon is definitely about healing. It's also about not missing the mark, not missing the timing of your astrology, of the group astrology, and a reminder that we all have the 12, 13 zodiacs within us. We all have that 13 moon cycle within us. I know we're all on this 12 moon, but for the Sag and the Scorpios, and if you resonate with the 13th zodiac for the week you're born in, then you'll realize that this time for you, okay, because I know I don't mention it a lot. I figure that you guys will take a little bit of the Scorpio and take a little bit of the Sagittarius reading and see that some of that might, apply with you. And if it doesn't, then whatever, right? But just realizing that there's a purging, a letting go of things that you're realizing doesn't really work or is silly, and finding a new way of thinking because there's more strength towards a new way of thinking. And I think a lot of people are realizing that, that there's a new way of thinking that is actually the old way of thinking, or a better way of thinking that is more in harmony with life and more balance. And we need to get to that. So anyway, it's all about healing. It's all about the I am energy. How is my inner voice, inner feelings, and my own action creating more of that experience, right? And is it the experience that you want? And then really flipping that for the positive. All right. So happy October, and click like if you guys found this video helpful. Definitely share it, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.